What's going on? Thank you so much for checking out this video about an SSL security certificate, making sure that your website is secure, and we're going to jump right in. Because a lot of people establish their website, they don't think about setting it up right, and they jump straight into the search engine optimization best practices, which everybody and their grandmother is talking about being at the top of search results. Nobody cares where they're ranked in Google, but everyone wants the results that come from being at the top of Google, which is a ringing phone, more calls, more form submits. However, they need to take the time to set up two things. Number one, they need to acknowledge this mobile get-in situation, which back in 2015, Google came out with an update that said you need to look good on all of these devices to access the internet, not just your desktop and laptop, but also a tablet and mobile devices like cell phones. So a good way to test that, there are other tests that you can run on Google, but come over here to the right-hand side, hold down your left click, and drag this down to the width of a cell phone. Do it slowly so you can start seeing whether or not words are actually cutting off of your website. So that's something that you would want to fix. And that's definitely going on at the website level. So whether you need to get a developer or rebuild your website somewhere else, be cognizant of that. And then the second step is you want to make sure you have this HTTPS, as you can see in this web address here, HTTPS. That's the benefit that comes from having an SSL security certificate. It's basically securing your website. You can pause here and see the benefits here, but back in 2014, Google acknowledged that this was basically a tiebreaker if you were competing with somebody, but they also said it was a ranking factor and that it was beneficial for people that are taking transactions, collecting money, collecting personal information, or just basically, it wasn't a direct necessity in 2014 for people who were basically giving information. In this day and age, it can actually knock you off of some listings, such as your Google Map listing, which you can get for free if you don't already have it for your business by going to google.com/business or /places and make sure you get it. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Just make sure that you check that out. Also, with this SSL, you can navigate to your website, click on this lock here, have this drop down, check that your certificate is valid. So as an example, come over here to this web address, make sure that it's secure and that you also have HTTPS displayed here. Now, for those of you who don't know where to get that, make sure you get it from your web hosting. And just to make sure we're on the same page, web hosting is just the plot of land that you build your website or your house that's going to be digitally representing you, and then you attach a domain, a web address such as like yahoo.com, google.com, things like that, so that once Google picks it up and you're in the search engines, you can actually start being found by web traffic. Now, you can be found higher. You can actually move this physical plot of land digitally up higher through optimization practices, what they call search engine optimization, again, to move closer to those coveted calls. Now, best practices, people have done data studies, and they've seen that in a relatively short time of 30 days, not only have they seen an uptick in rankings, they've also seen an uptick in page visibility online, which is key and critical. And then once those are in place, you have the mobile responsive website, and you also have the SSL security certificate, so you have the HTTPS, you can come back here and start looking at the SEO best practices. Now, how does this benefit you? You are positioning yourself for some of our clients in the past where we've had 227 calls in 30 days. We've had a ton of form submits that have come through from these different pages on the World Wide Web that are listed there from our website. 169 calls in 31 days, or my favorite case study, where we've had a tree service company that collected about 39 calls within a monthly basis. And out of those 39 calls, they had a high closing ratio of 30, which is the benefit that comes from being in search results. And at the average ticket of $1,500, 30 calls or 30 leads that are closed into new revenue generating business doesn't seem like a lot until you understand that $1,500 per, on average, what would an average of $45,000 in new revenue do for your company's bottom line? That's the benefit that we're talking about by having a mobile responsive website, having it secured with an SSL security certificate at your hosting, your web hosting, and then building out the best practices. That way it's secure, you have your audience knowing that they're going to have a good experience, and you're going to have confidence that Google is going to back you by you having that SSL security certificate and letting them know that you care enough about your customers to give them a safe experience when they visit your website too. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. If you have any need or a request and help to implement these best practices, just reach out, let us know you want a hand, and we'll be happy to schedule a time to talk. That's all I got. We'll talk to you soon.